It's Tessa. Today's Wednesday, May 8th. It has been a little bit since I talked to you last. I haven't really been doing much crocheting. Plus I've just been kind of distracted with Hulu. But to begin with, on Sunday, I think it was, we went to Joann's because I got paid on Friday and I was like, I need to buy yarn. And so I bought 2 of the Bernat Blanket Perfect Phasing, which I really like. They have a green and a blue that I want to get as well. But I ended up making this blanket. Baby blanket out of it. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I might give it to our dog. I might sell it. I don't really know yet. But it was really nice to work with. I think it only took me in total, including weaving in the 4 ends. I want to say it only took like 6 or 7 hours of like straight working. That sounded about right. Yeah, 6 or 7 hours. Again, though, I don't know what I'm doing with it now. So at Joann's, I also got the Creepy Cross Stitch. Oh gosh. By Lindsay Swearington. She apparently is also the creator of Tuscan Cardinal, and I don't know what that is. But basically, it includes all of these patterns of lovely Halloween-esque Halloween-esque cross-stitch projects. It also teaches you how to do basic stitches as well as the right, I don't know what it's called, but the stuff that you go through the thread in. I'll add it here if I can remember. But yeah, so it includes all of that. I don't have all the colors that are requested for the one I'm making currently. But my plan is to take one large sheet and add as many of these designs as I can to it. Just as like a little like, ooh, spooky, I don't know. There's 25 projects in here. It does a pretty good job of explaining what you need, how to do it, and all of that. It was only $20, which is really nice. I also ended up buying some other yarn while I was there on Saturday or Sunday. I think it included a skein of the retro stripes, and I'm currently using that to make a alt knots snood. If you don't know her, I recommend checking her out because I really like her. But she did a snood pattern. She ended up using, I don't remember the name of the yarn, but it gives the same vibes as Sally's dress from Night Before Christmas. I kind of want to make one in that colorway just because I think it'll look really cute. But the one I'm currently working on is the retro stripes in that pattern. And I'll show you. This is the pattern so far. I just like how vibrant it is. I might give this to my cousin actually. I've given her a couple of my projects. But yeah, so here's how the stitching works. It's essentially just a granny stitch, but in the center stitch of the row you're working on, you take the center of the trio, so the second stitch technically, you take the second stitch and you basically crochet it into the center stitch of the row below it. She does better at explaining it than I do, but it's a free video. It's on YouTube. You can go watch it. I'll try to link it below if I can. But that was Joann's. But then today, once I got done with work, my husband and I went to Hobby Lobby. I don't typically buy from Hobby Lobby because the one near me used to not really have a good yarn stock, but I figured I would check it out again since it's been a long time since I've gone there last. And let me show you what I got. First things I grabbed were some of this Crafter's Secret Cotton in the colors Nepalese Spices, Citrine Sheen, and I think this is Hot Pink, but H-A-U-T-E hot. So I got those 3. I wanted to try their cotton, or I wanted to try Crafter's Secret Cotton because I've seen other people use it, like Passionate Goods. I've seen her use it a lot for her bandanas, and so I thought I might want to try it out. I also got the I Love This Cotton in the color Eastern Nova, so it's kind of just like another rainbow color. I'm currently making one of my skipped bandanas with it. It's coming out fairly nice. I like the way the color is distributed. I like that it kind of has a little bit of the previous color at the start of the new color, like speckled almost. I also got 2 skeins of the I Love This yarn in the color Cinnamon Cedar. I thought about getting a couple more of these and making another one of the snoods with it. But I don't know. I don't know why I didn't grab more actually. But these are $5 a bundle for 252 yards. That is a little bit steeper than if I were to go to Joann's and get like the big twist value, worsted value, which is I believe $4.50 or $4.99 at I think like 300 and something yards. So it's a little bit more yardage for that yarn, but this yarn is just so much softer than the big twist has been recently. I think I mentioned in a previous vlog that Big Twist had started releasing or redoing their formulas for their yarn, and it's made a lot of their yarn more coarse and like shiny, kind of like Caron Simply Soft, and I hate it. I hate Caron Simply Soft. I hate yarn that has the weird overly shined coloring. It's just, I just don't like it. And so I've been kind of looking for another brand I like. I like Michael's Loops and Thread Impeccable. I think that one's really nice and soft. Again, I don't feel like you're getting enough bang for your buck. I think for that one it's 100 and something yards for, again, like $4 or $5. And if that's the case, I might as well just get the 250 yards of a bunch of different colorways, a bunch of different colors, multi-colors like this, singular solid colors. All of them felt about the same texture, so that was a plus for me. I'm hoping to go back to Hobby Lobby again semi-soon to get some more colors, because I also think these would be really good for either the beanies I make or wild oleander hooded scarves. I think these would look really cute with that, especially if you like intertwined it with black on a couple rows. But honestly, I really like this yarn so far. I've tried making a couple things with it and I just wasn't liking how they were turning out. So I'm gonna try something again and hopefully have something for you tomorrow to look at. I also ended up buying 2 crochet hooks from Hobby Lobby as well. I bought a 6mm and a 4mm. They've got this really pretty flower design on this side. I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of plastic hooks like this, but I want to start using them a little more. The metal ones, even if they have the like grippy or the like ergonomic grip or whatever, I feel like they make my hands cramp a lot more. I hold my hook really tight and I know that. And using plastic hooks forces me to make my stitches a little looser, and so I think it's also going to force me to maybe hold the hook a little bit looser. At least that's the hope of it. The other thing I've been working on that I haven't worked on yet today, but I worked on a bunch yesterday. I bought the pattern Minnow by Cozy Wonders Crochet. I'll insert a picture here. But I actually really like this pattern so far. Sweet Bean Crochet has an Excel sheet of all the patterns she's used for markets and things like that. And I got this from her, or I saw she had it on her list, so I decided to look at it. I really like the pattern overall. I think the only thing that I messed up on, and it was a user error issue, was I didn't add the eyes soon enough. So I had to kind of rip back a bit, add the eyes, restuff it, redo everything. But so far, the only piece we have completed is a little terrifying looking, but it's the head and body. I made 2 of the, I think they're called the top fins, but it's like the arms. And I made both the ears. I just haven't sewn them on. I figured it might be easier to sew everything on once it's all made, and go from there. I really want to make something out of the Hobby Lobby yarn I bought. I really want to make something out of it as soon as possible. And I really want to work on the snood by Alt Knots as well. But that's it for today. I'll check in again tomorrow. Hey guys, it is Thursday the 9th. I had a really long day at work. I worked over 9 hours today because I had to deal with these stupid reports. It was so annoying. Anyway though, I got a little bit more crocheting done, and I finally figured out and worked on last night the project I was making with this yarn. Again, this is the, I love this yarn in the color Cinnamon Cedar, which honestly, I might go back and just buy as many of those as they have. I really like the colorway. But what I started doing, and kind of where I'm at, the crochet layer of this bag, started these squares last night. Basically, this is the same construction as, the mosaic granny bag I showed you, or the tutorial I filmed for you a couple weeks ago. The only real difference currently is that I am actually lining the bag now. I've cut out the lining fabric, and I used my Fabric Fusion to just invert the edges. or to flip the edges in for the band part, just so that I don't have to worry about the fraying at all. I think I'm gonna do a French seam, or what I think is a French seam, on the actual body part of the lining layer. I'm not sure yet. I have that cut out as well. I just haven't started anything with it yet because I didn't want to start sewing tonight just because I'm a little tired, but currently this is what we have. I cut it extra large so that I know I have breathing room, quote unquote, for the, like, how you do the seam I'm thinking of, at least. I believe it's a French seam, but it's where you put the wrong sides together, sew across, and then fold it so that the right sides are together and go across the seam again, encapsulating the edges. And then I think you tack it to one side as well. Or that could just be an extra step. Either way, that's kind of what I'm thinking for the body part of the bag, just because I was able to use my fabric fusion to pull in those ends, and when I sew them down, it'll keep the ends curled over. That's pretty much all I worked on today, because I finished the body part of the bag and the strapping for crocheting wise today, and then I did the lining layer. I worked a little bit more on the snood by Alt Knots. I haven't done too much more to it, just because I keep forgetting it exists. I have it in like a pile next to me and I just keep forgetting to look down at it. And that's using the retro stripes. I don't know if I said that yesterday or not. But that's kind of where we're at today. Sunday is my husband and I's 5-year anniversary, or we're celebrating it then. So I probably won't do much crafting, and then I also have D&D on Saturday, so I probably won't get any crafting done then either. That's kind of just where we're at. I really like that bag so far. I'm thinking of making some scrap squares of that style, and then eventually putting all of those together and making like a blanket or something. That's all I have for tonight. I'll check in again tomorrow. I'm really not expecting tomorrow to be busy, fingers crossed, as since it's not a pay week for me, I don't have to do some of my steps that I have to do on a Friday for our pay weeks. And so technically I have nothing for tomorrow besides working on a couple of small items, so I should have plenty of time to crochet, get some stuff done, even do some sewing, which is really exciting. But yeah. Hey guys, it's Tessa. Today is Friday. I didn't get too much just crafting done in general this week, but I did make sure to have at least one item finished for you guys today. And it is that bag I was working on. So I did a lining here in the strap so it can't stretch. Like in theory I can still stretch the stitches on top, but the actual strap itself won't stretch anymore. And I was able to add a lining layer as well into the bag so that again it won't overstretch or anything. So let me show you that. Yeah, so I like literally just finished this bag like 5 minutes ago. I was able to use my quilting clips for the strap so that I could make sure everything's lined up perfectly. I don't like using pins when I'm doing a lining layer on something really stretchy like this. And then I also did, you can kind of see, I did a row of WIP stitching, I believe is what it's called, or the mattress stitch. But I did a whole row of that around it, just one to reinforce it, and then two, again, stretchy fabric or stretchy material on non-stretchy fabric. I wanted to make sure that everything came to the correct spacing and sizing, and I didn't have any weird buckling, which I think worked out pretty well. I think the lining layer is a little bit larger than the current size of the bag, or the current size of the crochet part. I do think over time the crochet part is going to stretch a little bit more, especially if I'm using it this weekend for husband and I's anniversary, which I kind of been planning to do just because I think it's really cute and I'd love to wear it out. But yeah, so I finished that guy, and then I kind of hinted towards it last night. I don't think I really explained myself well, but what I like to do when I have a lot of extra yarn left but not enough to really make another item out of it, is sometimes I'll create a square based on whatever I made, or if I didn't make a square I might just make a square size of a certain stitch or something. Like if the Alt Knots cowl, or not cowl, snood, when that's done I'm guaranteeing I have to buy another skein, but I probably will have some left over from that skein, so I might just make a square about the same size as these other two squares, using the same stitching so that I can then sew it together. Basically what I'm trying to say here is that I made another square of the I love this yarn. Same style, same design as the original 3 squares. And it, for the most part, matches up to this extra square I had from one of the other bags I made. And when you line these up with each other, essentially they're the same size. The only difference is I think that the normal granny square one, so this one, I think it's just a tad smaller. This used a 6mm hook, and it's a total of 8 rows. But this used, I believe, a 5 or 5.5 or 6.5 even maybe. No, this is probably a 5 or 5.5. And this used 7 rows. So in theory, there's a hook size difference as well as a stitch number difference probably. But I did a little test earlier today and I single crocheted it together just to see if I could make it work. And I can. I think blocking would also help with that situation as well. I think as long as I am crocheting across the top, I shouldn't have too many issues with the squares stretching because I can just cut out a couple stitches or go through a few times over. But that's all I really have to show you guys for the end of this week. I think my main plan for next week is to try to get through the minnow pattern I was making or working on, as well as finishing the snood if I can, or at least getting a decent amount of progress on it. But that's it for this week. See you again next week.